So here we are again at the back, opening up the gate to reach down, going into the rest of the garden. Over on the right side, down here, is my big asparagus bed. And I've been getting a pretty good supply of asparagus from it. It's taking time. It's only about 3 years old, so I'm only just beginning to really be able to pick from here. On this side, this is where I keep all the greedy plants, the mints, and got several different varieties of mints in here, and also my skullcap, because all of them are very greedy. They push all the other plants around, and this way I can control them a little bit. Control is an illusion, I know this. This is chives, and I have tons of chives, by the way. If anybody's interested in some chives, let me know. We're back over here by the bed, and once again, I've got more chervil. I have planted chervil in a number of places because as I said, it's a very fine herb, very small, and it requires a lot to get enough. And here's some asparagus. Let's see, here we go. There's some of my lovely asparagus right there. So I've got asparagus here. Catnip is planted here because catnip is favorable and a good companion plant to asparagus. And also I have put dill in here for the same reason. They deter asparagus beetles, so you can't quite see all of it, but there is a number of herbs down in here. It's still early. So that's what I will have all the way through on this side. Over here, I use this to grow just any kind of bean that I happen to have. At the moment, there's a few pea sprouts, but it will be beans. Possibly flageolets, which is used for a cassoulet dish. But mostly I grow them because it shades this side of the house, which can get very hot in the summertime. And more chives. Back here, I have my bed of stinging nettle. This grows up tall, I cut it off, grows up tall, I cut it off. I save the stinging nettle to make teas, and it can also be used in spinach. You can eat it. It is not stinging after it is cooked. So that's stinging nettle right there, and my peonies are just getting ready to come out. And we are over by the pond, which unfortunately is a tad too green. With all of this rain, it has gotten a lot of algae. But if you look very carefully, right there is the koi that I call Moby Dick. It's about a foot long, and that's the only koi I have. Some damn crane came and ate the other one. But this is the pond in all its beauty. It really is coming out. More soapboard over here. This is our newly built cover. Scott did this, and I have just recently wrapped grapevines around the stems, and hopefully it will grow up all over. And here is one of my favorite gardens. The garden that is underneath this oak tree has been the least problematic of all of my gardens. What I plant here just is happy and grows. I never have any bugs. I have no problems with it at all. It's a lovely, wonderful garden. In the center of it and around in certain spots, I have very large hostas, nice and bright gray-green. And then around the edges, I have planted these wonderful chartreuse hostas. I intend to split these every year and continue it until I have a circle of chartreuse hostas around the edges and then the dark green ones in the middle. There's bleeding heart and a native columbine, which grows naturally. It has a tendency to attract whitefly, but generally speaking, it's okay, and the hummers love it. And since it is very high up above the plants, I don't have to worry about the cats trying to catch the hummers. This is also where I've planted a number of other native species. This is a hepatica bloodroot. This one blooms white, this one blooms pink. And this is false Solomon seal. False Solomon seal makes a long stem with leaves, but notice that they alternate back and forth, and that the bloom is at the tip. It does have a lovely scent. And then this is fawn lily. This is an Oregon plant. and it is just at the point where it is making seed pods. And I have to watch these carefully, because if you stand back and really look at this, you will notice this has really made a mass of plants here. And all it takes is a few seeds and it spreads all over the place. Another name for this is avalanche lily. And it's not because it's involved in avalanche. It's because once you plant it, it just spreads. So right by Buddha is more of the native varieties. And this is where I keep my violets. But this particular garden has always been the best of my gardens and very cooperative. It's always done nicely. These are, of course, Lenten roses. And that's the end of this one. I'm going to stop.